In the previous episode, we went over the story plot points in Act 1. The first half of Act 1, we introduced the norm for the character, the nagging problem or their desire, we introduced their intention, which is to resist the call to action. In the second half of Act 1, we begin to push the character to take the call to action, then they contemplate, and then they change their intention to go after what they want or to face a problem. In Act 2, from the start to the end of Act 2, the intention of the character will be that of pursuit, to seek the answer to victory. They will be pursuing either their desire or to overcome the problem, or both. And as they try and fail and try again and fail, or even succeed but see no progress, they're constantly trying to figure out what the answer is. The character intends on finding a way to face the problem and to overcome it, or to go after what they want or need and to go and get it. They've now accepted the call to action, and their intention is to find any way possible to do what they want to do. But it is important that you know that they don't yet realize that they are going to have to learn how to do it. And that is going to be painful and disappointing journey throughout Act 2. The methods that they take are going to be ineffective, naive, or even reckless. Or they're just doing the wrong thing. Overall, the approaches that they take won't work, and that will lead to failure, which will lead to transformation, to seek a new way of doing it, a new outlook, a new truth, new answers, which will lead to the realization of the right way to do it. And that is the realization they will have at the end of Act 2. When they have that realization, they are no longer seeking the answer, they have the answer. That will lead to the change of their intention again, which will lead into Act 3. Act 2 is slightly less structured because it can be any length. You can repeat certain stages over and over. They can face one or many challenges. A number of those things can happen in a number of different orders. So, I'm going to explain the most basic and simple structure of the plot points, and you can follow those. And then if you like, you can change them around and add more, extend it. But, sometimes the simplest way is the best way. Why complicate it? Most of your favourite stories follow this story structure to the point. They don't change it around much. So I recommend following this simple structure first until you have such a level of practice and understanding that you no longer need to follow any structure because you just know it, and then you can play around with it. So the first half of Act 2. In the first half of Act 2, they are slightly naive. They don't realise how difficult it's going to be. They don't realise that they're not going to be able to do it straight away. They don't realise the long journey that they're going to have to take. So the first half of Act 2, we are focusing on enlightening them, making them realise themselves that they're going to have to learn a different way. They're going to have to become better at something, more skilled. They're going to have to learn a truth. They're going to have a new way of thinking, and we're going to do that in the first 3 steps, the first 3 plot points of Act 2. So step 1. At the end of Act 1, they've decided to go off and take action. Now they have their first challenge. The word challenge is very broad. It's a broad term. What is a challenge? It can be lots of things, but it's going to be something that they really struggle with. Think back to the first half of Act 1, Step 3. In the previous video, they had reasons to not pursue what they want or why they won't face the problem that continues to grow. It's usually because it's going to be a challenge, and they don't think that they can deal with it at that point. They do now in Act 2, but at that point they didn't think they could. Or they didn't bother, they couldn't be bothered. They may not know specifically what challenge or challenges they would have to face, but they know it was going to be challenging. Or if they did know what challenges they were, my parents would stop me. That would be a challenge. Might be other reasons. I don't have the money. It's too difficult, or too dangerous, or I don't have the skills to do it. Those were some examples from the last video. These were examples of the reasons why they might not want to have gone and taken action to get what they want or to face the problem. But at the end of Act 1, they decide to do it anyway and to face these challenges. So now they face a challenge. In the first step of Act 2, let's say one of the reasons that it was too dangerous. It was too dangerous. I'm not going to do anything because it's too dangerous. That's the reason. Well, now they're going to face something that's dangerous. Let's say maybe instead the reasoning for not taking action in Act 1 was that their parents wouldn't let them. So now that will be a challenge that they face. So it's important to think of those first steps in Act 1 first, because now whatever challenges, whatever reasons your character had in the first half of Act 1, Step 3, now they're going to face one of these challenges. They could face many of these challenges. This challenge could be separate from the problem or from the desire that they are pursuing, or it can be related to it. It can be the same challenge. It can be the same challenge as the final challenge. So it could be that they have to do something to get it, to get what they want. Or maybe they're confronted with an antagonist that is related to the problem. They might be faced with one challenge or many challenges, but by getting past these challenges, they believe it will be the answer to eventually overcoming the problem or getting what they want. So the story continues. As a story example from Act 1, a simple story demonstrates the methods clearest. The character faces their first challenge. The squirrel's nuts have been stolen and now he will starve in the winter unless he gets them back. That's not the challenge. His reasoning was that it's too dangerous. Perhaps he gets lost. Perhaps he might get eaten by a monster. It could be one challenge or many. I'm going to give him 2 to make the story a little bit longer. Let's say the squirrel comes across a monster. The squirrel approaches a river in the foresty abyss. And across the river, a giant green beast emerges. Its beady eyes roll towards the squirrel. It opens its enormous jaw and it screams, "Ribbit." The frog says, "If you cross my river, I will eat you." The squirrel now has a choice. The squirrel can either fail, he can try and fail, or he can turn back, or he can even try and overcome it. Either way, even if he overcomes his challenge and gets past it, it won't lead them anywhere. Or if they fail, of course, that won't lead them anywhere either. Let's say the squirrel turns back and goes a different way. Maybe then another challenge. Which way to go? He gets lost. Maybe he overcomes this one and he finds his way back on track, but none of it matters. Step 2. No progression. They may go through one challenge or multiple challenges, either failing these challenges or successfully overcoming them. They don't get any closer to getting what they want or overcoming a problem. They see no progress and they realize that they're not going to get anywhere. They realize that they are continuously failing or overcoming successfully these challenges, but they're not making any progress and they're not getting anywhere. So you're going to have to think of more roadblocks to put in their way, and when they get past one, they see 10 more. They see how far they have to go. When they get past one, they see even more. So think of what those roadblocks could be and start to reveal them to your character. This can be an apparent defeat, where all hope seems lost. They can completely fail and they don't see a way forward. And I explain in depth how to write an apparent defeat in my most recent series, Is Your Story Exciting? I also give step-by-step instructions and ideas to write an apparent defeat in the series. Is your story exciting? It's linked below. It's worth checking out. So, as a story example, step 2, why does none of it matter if the squirrel fails or even overcomes some challenges? The character realizes that they're making no progress, regardless of whether they overcome challenges or fail them. They realize they're not getting anywhere, so the squirrel walks for several days, sneaking past terrifying monsters, slimy, skittish, slithering, crawling in the shadows. The squirrel has eaten all but one nut. He's saving it in case he starves, can't find his way back. He's lost. Until the squirrel reaches a barrier. This is the park barrier. He's gone around in a circle, walking for days, and has come back to his own park, where he started. He isn't getting anywhere. Now we move to step 3. Self-doubt. Now they're going to start doubting their own ability to get what they want or to overcome the problem. Their intention hasn't changed yet. They're not wanting, well, they might want to give up, but they haven't given up yet. They still want to try. They're just becoming less optimistic, and now they're doubting their ability to actually be able to do it. After step 2, when they realize they're not getting any closer to getting what they want or solving a problem, they contemplate giving up. They don't intend on giving up yet. They just start contemplating if they're actually going to be able to do it. Should I give up? It's like you don't realize how big the mountain is that you have to climb until you've been walking for a full day, and then you look up and you realize you're only a fifth of the way up. You're nowhere close to reaching the top, and it's only getting steeper. And there's an avalanche coming down to you. All these things, that's what's happening. So now you think of ways that your character will doubt themselves. Show their reasons. Again, show them doubt themselves. Think of how they doubt themselves. Maybe have them contemplate with other characters why they should consider giving up. Maybe other characters start to doubt them as well. Or maybe they just doubt themselves. Show how other characters might give up on them. Show your character explaining to other characters why it might be worth continuing to try, or why it might not be. So the story continues. Step 3, the story example. The squirrel contemplates giving up. The barrier is only one step away. On one side is his home, his park. No food, but he knows that that's his home. It's safe. But on the other side is the abyss. He's been walking around in circles, getting lost, strange creatures everywhere. Maybe I'm doomed to starve. He steps 1 foot across the barrier, back into the park, looks in his empty bag with only one nut left, and contemplates whether he should go back and accept his fate and starve. How will I get past the frog? How will I catch the thief? Now, this is the first half of Act 2 done. At the end of Act 1, they set off to take action. Now in the first part of Act 2, they face their first challenge and many possible challenges. They fail or overcome some, but they see no progress. And now they begin to doubt themselves and how possible it is to actually be successful. Now in the second half of Act 2, they're going to go through transformation. So by the end of Act 2, they're going to be ready and able to actually get what they want, to face a problem and overcome it. By the end of Act 2, they're going to know the exact way that they need to approach the situation to be victorious. So, step 1 of the second half of Act 2, guidance. Now they are doubting themselves. They're open to guidance, mentorship. Think of someone that will show them the way forward. Someone that will show them the path for what to do, or might train them or teach them the right way to do it, what they must actually do and how to do it. They might show them a new way of thinking, or offer a different perspective, maybe show them something they didn't know, a different side to a situation that gives them an advantage. They might show them information or a truth that they didn't know, enlighten them to a situation that they didn't know about, or enlighten them to a secret about the way a situation works, or someone that shows your character the way, even if they literally physically show them a path that they need to walk down that they didn't see before, they didn't know about, or a door that they need to walk through, or somewhere that they need to go, to be, that will lead them to where they need to be to succeed. Whatever this mentor helps them with. There are many different types of mentors who can guide your character, which I talk about in the upcoming series, How to Write a Mentor. The warrior who stands by your character's side, the master who is a distant mentor, in between challenges, who trains them only in the distance and then sends them on their way, or a guardian who watches over your character in the background. Your character never even knows about. Your character doesn't even know that they're helping them. Lots of different types of mentors, different types of motivations, different character arcs for each mentor. It will be linked below when it's ready. Look out for the series. Someone or something that shows your character what they have to do or know about how to be successful. It's a vital part of any story. So the story continues. Step 1, a mentor. The squirrel receives guidance. The owl approaches the squirrel again. Or it could be someone else, but I'll say it's the owl. Have you given up, little squirrel? The squirrel says, I do not know what to do. My path is blocked by a horrible frog who will not let me pass and will eat me if I do. The owl gives him a new perspective, a new way of looking at things that might offer a new approach. That is horrible of the frog. Perhaps showing some kindness will teach him a better way. Off you go, keep trying, said the owl. Step 2, another challenge, but this time there's transformation. Now is the point when your character transforms, and this happens during another challenge. It could be a different challenge or a previous challenge that they failed before. I want you to think of a new approach that they need to take to overcome this challenge. And if you can't think of any challenges, just do the same one, or a variant of the same one. Or think back to the reasons your character was hesitant to do what they want or to face a problem in Act 1. Think of the challenges they didn't want to face, and they can face one of those challenges again. They had reasons for not trying in Act 1. Oh, it's too dangerous, for example. So now they face another challenge that's really dangerous. Or one of their reasons was, oh, I'm not good enough singer to win the award. Well, now they might have to sing another song. You get what I mean? They go through one more of these challenges. And during this challenge, they almost completely fail and everything is almost ruined. But this time is different. They don't lose. This leads on to step 3. But first, a story example. Step 2. This can be the same challenge or another challenge, but in this story, it is the same one challenge. The squirrel approaches the river again. The squirrel tries again to cross the river, but a giant green beast emerges from the river once again. Its beady eyes roll towards the squirrel. It opens its enormous jaw and it screams, "Ribbit." The frog says, "If you cross my river, I will eat you." The squirrel continues to cross the river. "Please, I must cross this river." The frog shouts, "Take one more step and I will gobble you up. I haven't eaten in weeks. You won't get far while you're swimming around on the inside of my stomach." Step 3. Realisation. A new approach. During this challenge, they begin to fail, and it doesn't seem hopeful. Right before they lose, something's going to flip inside them. They're going to realise why they're losing. They're going to realise what they're doing wrong right before they lose. They're going to do something different, something that they haven't done before. And because of that, they're going to overcome the challenge. It doesn't matter if they either escape it or overcome it. So long as right before they lose, they gain a new outlook, they remember something maybe that the mentor told them or helped them with or trained them in, or that they realize themselves. They do something that stops them from losing. That's the important thing, because regardless of whether they escape the challenge or overcome it, now they have the answer for how to face and overcome the final challenge, the thing they need to do to get what they want, or the thing they need to do to overcome the problem. Now they no longer seek the answer because they have it. Now they are ready to be victorious. So the story continues. Step 3. The frog refuses to let the squirrel pass at the threat of being eaten alive. "Do not take one more step or I will gobble you up," says the frog. The squirrel almost fails again and turns around. Oh, he almost carries on and gets eaten. But something flips inside of him. It was what the owl said, the mentor. Perhaps kindness will show the frog a better way. The squirrel realizes what he's doing wrong, so he looks into his empty bag with only one nut left that he'd been saving for himself, and he offers it to the frog. It's not much, but it will ease your hunger. The frog graciously accepts, and as a thank you, the frog lets the squirrel cross the river. "Thank you," said the squirrel, "and if I succeed on my mission, I will return with many more nuts to fill your belly." This realization leads to a change of intention, because they are now no longer failing challenges or overcoming them but see no progress. Now they are no longer doubting themselves. They are now no longer looking for the answer, because they now have the answer and they are able to be victorious. So their intention changes from pursuit of the answer to the intention of renewal, and that is Act 3. So a summary of the plot points of Act 2, the second half of Act 2. In the second half of Act 2, they've received guidance from a mentor that will help them be successful. They begin facing another challenge, and they go through transformation as they almost lose, but then they have a realization of what they're doing wrong. And then they change their approach and they're successful. Now they have the answer to the final challenge. This will overcome the problem, this final answer that they need to do, or it will get them what they want. Whether they know that it's the answer or not, now they at least have it. They're ready to be victorious. This change of intention from pursuit to renewal marks the end of Act 2 and the start of Act 3, because their intention is changing. Now they just want things to be over. They just want to finish the job, no more faffing about. See you in the final episode of How to Write 3-Act Structure, where we'll focus on Act 3. I'm Joe Webb, a storyteller. Learn to write fiction properly.